All right, so I decided today we'll look at choices of ukuleles. I get asked that by a lot of my students who want to do ukulele lessons, and they want to figure out what kind of ukulele to get. There's a bunch of sizes. This is the tenor size, and this is your concert size. They're both great, pros and cons. I also had a soprano, which is even smaller. So depending on what you're interested in, what your ear likes, they're all great. You can even bigger, smaller. There's a lot of ranges. So if you put them back to back, you could see the difference. I put a strap on this one. You can put a strap on any ukulele, especially if you know luthier, and you just get them to put a little strap button down there at the bottom, which I find very handy if you're playing it in gigs and stuff, so you can, just rock out. Another thing I get asked a lot is use a pick or use your fingers. They're both good tools. It's like, should I have a flathead screwdriver or a Phillips head screwdriver in my toolbox? You probably might want to have both. I personally like to have both, so I have ability of getting different sounds. If I'm using my finger or my thumb, I can get a nice soft sound. If I'm using a pick, I can get more volume, I can get heard more. So if I'm playing solos or I'm playing in a group context with other musicians, I'm often going to want to grab that pick so I can get heard. You can also have some different tunings that you pick. And you could definitely hear the difference too with the pick versus the finger, with single line melodies too, which we'll look at that too. I have on this ukulele, which is just a coincidence, on my tenor, I have a low G string instead of a high G string. So I've got G, C, E, A. And then on this other one, I've got G, C, E, A. So they're the same notes. I know I probably should have two of the exact same size, but I'm trying to just do a variety here. But just so you can see the difference, a C is a C, a G chord is still going to be a G chord, an F and an F. So if I do the same ones, I've got that's G, that's C, that's F. So it's not going to change my chords per se if I have this low G string here. And you can get whole sets. You just order a set. If you know a place that has a lot of kinds of strings, Strings and Beyond or someplace, you could probably just say, I'd like a set for the low G, or I'd like a set of strings that has the reentrant or the high string that's closest to the ceiling. And both are available. You can also just order singles of the G's to swap them out if you want. I've also heard some people that just take a normal set of ukulele strings, and instead of doing the order that's recommended, you put this one here and you put this one here, they just line them up fattest to thinnest and start with the fattest here, and they can get that low G in there that way. Why? I get that question a lot. Why is there a high string sometimes on ukuleles? So let's look. Why? What's the advantage? It gives you more options depending on what kind of things you want to do with that tool, or less options. It's the same note as this, G. So if I'm doing scales, for instance, I would probably start on the C because it's the lowest note here. So I'd be like C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then C. This G is the same as this G, theoretically, should be. Then if I go to one with the lower G, I could start my scales lower. I can play lower. One of the advantages that I think about having the low G is that I get a few more notes. So one of the things about ukuleles that sometimes is frustrating for people that they're sort of coming into this and they're trying to do a lot of melodies is you can run out of notes. Whereas on the guitar or the mandolin or the fiddle, you can often play a lot of different songs in a lot of different keys and not actually run out of notes. Sometimes I'll transpose things just for the ukulele because I'm trying to get the whole melody line to fit on there without running out. But if I have this ukulele, I can often do it because I have like G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, and so on and so forth. So I get more, a few more notes in my scale. Another thing that sometimes people are trying to decide between having the high G string or the low G string, which again are both fine, both valid, both real, is what are you hoping to do later? What other instruments are you wanting to play or hoping to play? I've had some people say, well, I kind of really want to play guitar. I want my kid to play guitar. And I thought ukulele, you know, maybe it's a little less expensive, it's smaller, and they could start there and then go up to a guitar. Not that guitars are better than ukuleles. Please don't go into that, you know. Every instrument is great. You can do all sorts of things on every instrument. And the more uncommon of a thing you could think to do on an instrument, I think the more points you get. So they're both good. But if what you're hoping to do is get little so-and-so on the guitar, the low G is great because you basically have the same patterns. As you would on the guitar. It's the same intervals as if you had your guitar, let's say, and you capoed your guitar on the 5th fret. So basically that's kind of what a ukulele is, especially if you have that string closest to the ceiling, being a G that is lower sounding than the other one. So you're still going like most instruments go from low to high. So that's that same G chord I was just playing over here. Try not knock them together. So that's kind of how a ukulele is working. Is it's working like a guitar up here. So that being said, if I have a guitar, a song that I love the way it's done on guitar, especially like some of the jazz songs or Latin jazz songs, they transfer really, really well to the ukulele. But if you think about the fact that if I have this low string, one of my advantages is that I can pick strum like I would on a guitar to fit into a bluegrass context or a folk context. Or if I don't want to carry my big heavy guitar to the camp out or something, going hiking or on the boat trip, I could bring my ukulele, I could still lead the sing-along, and I could do kind of like a guitar would do, you know, or whatever your singing patterns were. And that warmth that you get from the low one is an advantage in that case for most people. Not everybody, maybe, but a lot of people, it's easier to sing with that low range in there to sort of warm it up and fill it out. And you can take whatever your chords are and walk down and walk up and have that effect of like the bass line in there. So if I did like a C up here, G, F, C, I can kind of get that walk. Now I could do it over here too, but it's going to have a different effect. Oops. So here's my C. So you still got a walking thing, but because it's a different octave of G, it's the same G, it's still the same chord. You don't have to rethink all your chords, unless you're an advanced person and you're trying to do certain cross-picking things or something. Again, with the pick or no pick, I can do very similar patterns or very different patterns depending on the techniques, and you're going to get different quality, but you can get a lot of the same things. So don't think because you're using a pick or using your finger you can only strum and you can only do rhythm. That's fine if that's what you want to do, but you can also have like little picking patterns of all different types. So, you know, I can basically do finger picking with a pick and just get more volume. I could do cross picking and things like that. So, anyway, so it should all be fun. It should all be great. If anyone has questions about any of these techniques or wants to learn some more songs with those, remember you can always just message me and I'll try to help you out with some more of the details there. Okay, so if I wanted to take the ukulele with the string that's closest to the ceiling, being the high G or the reentrant G, I can do little patterns we talked about. So I could be like, so if I want to do the same thing, I can do it on one without a reentrant. On the same notes, I'm just using the 3 strings here. And a lot of times when you see ukulele things written out, or when I tab something out, I'll sometimes stick to these 3 strings so that it works on either one of the ukuleles in terms of melodies. So here we go. So it'd be like, this G note was on the string closest to the ceiling. Now it's just going to be here. So I've got... So same notes, just a different pattern, different like superpowers, I guess, of the different ukuleles. Anyway, I hope that clears up. So you could probably do what so many ukulele players do, which is you just get one of each. You can get 2 of the same size that have the 2 different Gs, or 2 different sizes, or be like so many ukulele players that end up with 4 or 5 or however many. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope that helps somebody out there. Feel free to let me know what you think. Check out my website, www.taralinhart.com, and hopefully I'll see you out there. Bye.